Hello, welcome, Devil Sniper here, and today I'm bringing you episode number 32 of our career mode with West Ham United, and we're going to start off with a home leg against Everton in the Cup semi-final, of course, the EFL Cup. As you know, it is January as well. You would have seen the transfer targets. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. I won't know until obviously it goes live, and I've already pre-recorded it, and I've done everything I need to do with it, so I'm going to be interested to see how that one turns out if you enjoyed that video. But of course, the EFL Cup table, Aston Villa are leading Brighton 2-1 over the legs, but if you saw there, Villa beat Liverpool in the quarterfinals to reach the semi-finals, so that's not to be, you know, you've got to look at that side and think, do you know what, if they get to the final, you can't sit back and think, oh, this could be an easy game. And the same with Brighton. If you looked, they beat Manchester City to get to the quarterfinals, which is a huge result when you give the calibre of City players. And of course, Kare will be making his debut for Everton. And not only that, he left on the cheap. So has he got a point to prove to the West Ham manager? Causing all that upstorm and causing lots of discomfort within the team and leaving in the fashion he did. It obviously didn't help that the board sold him from under the nose of Filippo Bonaparti, who thought he could have got more money. But West Ham United are going in a very attacking lineup. Kare up top, Antonio, Payet and Feghouli, the top four. Three of that top four have been phenomenal this season. Kare's had lots of opportunities. Well, not lots of opportunities. Had a good amount of opportunities. He's had some good chances in games. He just hasn't taken any at the moment. And it has led to West Ham stuttering when really and truly they should have won a lot more games. And I said it could be same with Simone Zaza. He has stuttered all season. But we join it with West Ham on the ball, and it's Feghouli playing the ball forward into Nordvet. Nordvet turns inside, knocks it into Noble. Noble with a quick pass into Dimitri Payet. Payet into Kare, and Jagielka just lunges in on Kare. There was no need for that. Kare was going absolutely nowhere, and rightly so. The referee awards the yellow card to Phil Jagielka in the 5th minute of the game. What a reckless challenge. But Dimitri Payet on the right-hand side, marauding forward, spies a little run of Kare. He gets past the fullback. He's got time. He's got space. He whips the cross in, but that is too simple for the Everton defender. Antonio coming in the back post really had no chance to get on the end of that. Not been the greatest game, it has to be said. You can see from the look of Filippo Bonaparti, he's looking cool, calm and collected. Probably not impressed with the way his team's playing. As Everton fires in a cross, but that's easy for Randolph to deal with. Both teams are just sitting back. Both teams are just allowing some time and space in the centre of the park, not really making any strides to go forward. You can tell there's tension within the ranks of both teams, but it is West Ham on the ball. Mark Noble picking it up, plays it out wide to Feghouli, but the referee concludes the first half of the game that has not been exciting at all. West Ham United 0, Everton 0, but as I say, it's understandable. It's such a big game for both teams. They've still got the second leg, but neither team, you can quite tell, neither team wants to make that first error. We've got Feghouli down on that right-hand side, looking to get forward, and Ross Barkley with a huge tackle there to win the ball. If Feghouli got past him, he would have been looking to whip that cross in, but it is Feghouli into Dimitri Payet. Payet with the cross. Oh, and there's Phil Jagielka with the header. I thought Kare was going to get on the end of it, but it wasn't. It was Phil Jagielka against his own bar. Unbelievable there. But it is Everton for once looking to come forward, but that's blocked by Arthur. Arthur moving forward. He drifts past two, plays it to Dimitri Payet, who turns nicely, spreads the ball into Feghouli. Nordved's sprinting forward. He's actually getting forward. He's into the box. Can he slot it home? Bottom corner. 1-0 to West Ham. Absolutely fantastic play from West Ham United there. For the one time that Nordvet decided to leave his defensive duties and bomb forward had paid off. Dimitri Payet with a beautiful turn inside into Feghouli, who had drifted infield, and Nordvet just came out of nowhere. Feghouli spotted him, played a nice simple ball into him, and Nordvet thankfully done the rest and slotted the ball home in the 82nd minute. That's a big goal, but you could hopefully tell it might bring Everton out. Everton might now start going on the attack, as it is Barkley on the left-hand side. Great cross in, but it's dealt with by Winston Reid, who gives the ball away straight away. McCarthy into Leighton Baines. Baines with the ball, but West Ham pick the ball up, play it forward into Feghouli, but the referee concludes the game. Not an exciting game by any stretch of the imagination. Both teams very defensive-minded, but it does finish West Ham United 1, Everton 0. Where did I get West Ham United 0? So we're going to move into the transfers, and of course, Adrian is on his way out of the club. End of story. Manchester United come in, bang, 10 million quid. Now, I don't particularly want huge amounts of money for him. If I can get anything between 12 and 15 million quid for him, then I'll happily take it. We counted off in Manchester United with that 15 million, as you saw. Now, Kare, I don't know what to say about this lad. We've got misfiring strikers as it is. We've got Simone Zaza, who hasn't been firing on all cylinders all season. As soon as he, hopefully he will start firing on all cylinders at some point. But this young lad's had a couple of chances. He's had a couple of chances in front of goal, and he just hasn't done the business. And I just don't think he fits the team nor the style. So we are going to counter-offer Dortmund for 17.5 million quid. If we can get that, then I'll be quite happy. Of course, Manchester United come back immediately and say, no, that is way too much money. And we do secure the sale of Andy Carroll. He has left the club for 11.5 million to Stoke City, and we pocket £9 million from the board, which is not too bad. Thankfully, the board weren't involved in the negotiation. Otherwise, we would have ended up with 3.8 million and Andy Carroll being sold for 5 million quid like Kare. Yes, I'm still bitter and twisted about that, to say the least. And of course, the board have come back and said we're not on track. Now, my frustration with these club objectives, some of them won't come to fruition until the end of the season. So for them to be turning around saying we're not on track is quite stupid, realistically, because we've got a transfer window to get through where we can make some sales. I mean, for example, if Kare goes, we could pick up 17.5 million quid, and we will be back on track. So it's a little bit frustrating that the board sort of come back and I don't know, just the way it's being done is a little bit stupid in my personal opinion, but that's just my opinion. Everton come in with a cheeky offer. They're trying to nick our players, and they're not going to get Adrian on the cheap this time. And we're going to make our first steps into trying to sign a little Argentinian. 2.6 million is going to be the offer. He is worth 4, 5, 6 million quid. The lad is well worth his money. But I'm going to try and get him on the sneaky, try and get him on the cheap, see if we can bring him to the club, because I feel he'll be a fantastic acquisition to the team and one for the future. Maybe not for the second, maybe not for this season, maybe not for the second season, but looking into that third season, I can see him having a bigger influence into the team and hopefully winning a first team slot. And of course, we're going to be taking on Fulham in the replay of the FA Cup game. A very disappointing first game at the London Stadium when we came away with a 1-1 draw. You'll remember that Reece Oxford ghosted in at the far post with a delightful header to save the day. A fantastic goal. That boy has been fantastic this season. I mean, if we'd done a young youth player of the year, it would probably go to Reece Oxford at this moment in time. He's been phenomenal. That's not saying that Edmilson Fernandez hasn't been phenomenal, because he's also been phenomenal. I mean, Player of the Year is going to be quite a tight one with Faguli and Dimitri Payet, but there's still a long way to go in the season. And of course, it is Fulham on the attack, but Edmilson Fernandez showing his strength, picks the ball up, knocks it into Lanzini. Lanzini plays a delightful ball into Gorkan Torre. He keeps hold of the ball, uses his strength to get in the box, onto his right foot, sticks it in the far corner. Fantastic goal from Gorkan Torre. Absolutely brilliant. Great ball in from Lanzini. And Venturi just showed his pace and his strength and his willingness and drive to get towards the 6-yard box. I mean, that's great strength there. Great pace, acceleration. Onto his right, straight across the keeper. The keeper looked like he thought he was going to go near post. And of course he doesn't. And again, Filippo Bonaperti. The West Ham fans must love this man. He really does live and breathe every single moment of the game. He's a revelation, a breath of fresh air as a manager, as it is. Edmilson Fernandez picking up the ball deep. Plays it into Ashley Fletcher. Fletcher, nice control. Back into Fernandez. Fernandez just drifts out wide. Plays a delightful ball into Fletcher. Great run there by Fletcher. He knocks it back inside to Fernandez. These two are causing Fulham all sorts of problems. A great little dink in. A great diving header. It hits the keeper. Oh, my days. Okay, we've got to say that's just FIFA. Beautiful 8. I mean, the build-up play was fantastic. I mean, Jesus Christ, that is ridiculous. The ball basically sticks to his back. He moves and it flies in the top corner. I mean, the header from Lanzini was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But that, as a goal, is just wrong. Seriously. If anything, it should have hit the back of the keeper and gone in, or the header should have gone in. Obviously, the header hit the post. It's just wrong. I mean, that's naughty. The ball sticks to the back of the goalkeeper and he stands up and it flicks into the back of the net. Anyway, sorry to get out of doing the commentary there, but that goal was just one of the worst goals I think I've had the privilege of scoring on the game, to be honest. And it was a shame, because I think at that moment it ruined the actual game. Fulham were coming back into it. We did put that nice move together. We got that goal, and then for me, it just ruined the game, because Fulham just didn't seem to have the same prowess going forward or invention going forward. But It is what it is, unfortunately. Anyway, we will pick it up with Arbeloa knocking the ball out to Gorkan Toure. Toure cutting the inside onto his left foot. Spies the run by Fernandes. Fires the shot, but it's straight down the throat of Button, who unfortunately conceded that rather disastrous own goal. And the referee does conclude the first half, which has been a very good first half for the West Ham team as they go in the cup replay. Fulham 0, West Ham United 2. And that Button own goal live long in the memory, I'm afraid it won't. That really was an awful goal. But the second half kicks off. Fulham with the kickoff from right to left. The ball is with Fletcher. He feeds it out to Gorkan Toure, who's been a handful today. Fletcher knocks the ball forward into Lanzini. Lanzini looking to get to the byline, digs it in. Ashley Fletcher ghosts in. What a fantastic headed goal there by the young man. He really is coming to fruition this season. Hasn't had a huge amount of opportunities this season, but when he has had his opportunities, he's made them count, and he really must be pushing Simone Zaza for a starting place in the first team, because he does come up with his fair share of important goals, old Fletcher. But to be fair, making it 3-0 is not an important goal, it was just a quality goal. The ball is with Edmilson Fernandes onto his right foot, 20 yards out, fires the shot, and that's a great save from Button. A fantastic save from the young goalkeeper. But Lanzini moving forward. West Ham dominating the game now as Fletcher has the ball. He squares it into Fernandes. Fernandes into Ayew. Oh, he's hit the post. Left foot shot. Unfortunate there for West Ham. They do deserve another goal. They have absolutely dominated this game against Fulham. It's a shame they didn't do this in the first game, as Fletcher with the ball tries to play it forward and Fulham get away with it as the referee does conclude the game. If West Ham played like that in the first game at the London Stadium, you could have easily have seen West Ham smashing Fulham. But they've saved it for the second leg, and the game is finished Fulham 0, West Ham United 3. And the Borussia Dortmund have come back and said, we've reviewed your asking price of 17.5 million quid. And we're going to do it, which is fair dues. And Dortmund coming again. Why all these teams keep coming back for my players? If it's not Everton, it's Dortmund. No, we're not selling Ogbonna in any way, shape or form at all. Man of the match against Everton. I tell you what, it was the hardest man of the match to pick because the game was that goddamn awful that I just thought, you know what, I'll give it to Nordved. He scored the goal. It's the easiest way because it was just an awful game. In the replay of the FA Cup game, I gave it to Fletcher, even though Gorkan Toure was an absolute handful all game. I gave it to Ashley Fletcher because he played some nice interlinking football with Fernandes. And of course, his goal was sublime. The run and the actual finish was just sublime.